it's me, Shiaides, and welcome to my Q&A. Um, Thank you for all the questions submitted, and also happy 5K. Thank you so much for all the support over the past couple of months. I do hope you continue to enjoy my content and to support this ambitious project of mine. Anyway, I have received over 80 questions or so, and I am splitting this into 3 different categories: about me, memes, and just general stuff about the channel, the stories, and writing. Also, I will be attempting to do a interesting ASMR type rambling video, since I don't really do ASMR and I thought it would be fun. But yeah, so let's get started. So first we'll be going to just generally questions for me, or general questions about me. So the first question is from Tuz. Would you be interested in trying a TTRPG or a tabletop RPG? And so I'm assuming that this includes stuff like D&D. I've been asked before by one of my close friends, and I would definitely play and be interested, but the only difficulty is trying to find the time to dedicate to it, because I know sometimes sessions can go on for like hours. Whenever my close friend would play, he'd be like, okay, I'm going into a D&D session, see you later. And then he'd come back like 5 hours later. And I was like, oh my god, are you still playing? And he was just taking a break or something. So, yeah, sometimes sessions can go on for a long time, apparently. But I have also, heard of a single session like D&D game. I'm not really sure about the details, so I wouldn't mind playing that as long as I could find a time slot somewhere. It's just difficult to dedicate time because I'm so busy usually. But yeah, thank you, Tuz, for the question. Next questions are from Jimothy. So, any sort of meaning or reason why you chose your internet name? On my streams, I think I've explained the meaning of my name before, and I'd broken down the exact components and such. And there's a lot of different languages that make up my name. But I'll just say that this username was based on certain aspects of the story I'm currently writing. Much of it has to do with relationships and uncertainty, and to simply put it, certain aspects of what an ending is. So yeah, that's kind of the meaning of the name. It has to do with the story. So I hope that answered that question. Next, a favorite era in history. Some of you guys might know, but I'm currently in university and I am currently studying as a history major. So I quite enjoy the Elizabethan era, but mainly for the fashion. I think it's quite interesting how fashion evolves throughout the years. But I'd say that I enjoy World War II quite a bit, which isn't very inspiring, I'd say. Not the era itself, as in many people I know are interested in World War II. But most of my focus while studying that specific era was on Japanese internment camps in the United States. So I'll say that that focus in general is my favorite. Though I'd say that also I think that the age of just Atlantic revolutions is a super fun thing to study as well. Um, as in American, Haitian, right, Latin, and French. So, yep. Next question from Jimothy. Favorite game? Uh, I don't think I can really choose, but I do love The Sims a lot. I play a lot of The Sims 4, though usually it's like I play The Sims intensely for 2 months and then I need to take a break for a year because too much Sims. But that's just how it is. And I also really like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky. Uh, so I was able to grab a copy of the latest Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX, and it really brought back so many childhood memories. Um, I remember going to Target and like asking my mom to get the game, and while we were walking around buying some snacks or something, I pulled out my DS, or my DSi, and I just started playing, and I remember the music and everything, and yeah, I really like the game. But I really like both. So, yeah. Thank you, Jimothy, for those questions. Next question is from KSAT. What is the weirdest dream you've had? So, the weirdest dream was pretty much a nightmare. I was at an amusement park with my friends, and if you ever watched the anime 11 Eyes, or if you played the visual novel, I guess, it's like what happens when the Red Night occurs, and I guess it's just spooky, is the best way to describe it. And it was just like me and my friends being picked off almost like Hunger Games style, and then it's like we were like brought to this factory where like you made vampires. It sounds almost more scary than it is weird, but it was really bizarre. But yeah, thank you, KSAT, for that question. Next questions are from Henni. So, Henni asks, what is your favorite book? So I don't really read books, at least not as of late, and most of my time is occupied by reading primary sources for my history classes, so I find reading a bit of a bore nowadays, unfortunately. The latest book I read was, well, it's either book 2 or book 3, and, well, I guess it depends on if you're labeling Last Wish as one or not, but it's the blood, not the blood of elves in the Witcher series. I'll say though, one of the books that influenced a lot of my, I guess, inspiration or motivation for writing as a child was Ferris by Gail Carson Levine. It's for kids, but it made me like princesses, magic, and maids. So, yeah. Next question is your favorite language to be teased in. To explain this question, I guess, kind of, not that I know exactly what it means, but I like friendships where, like, you can, banter with one another and, there's some teasing involved, I guess. Um, yeah, like, I don't know. An example is like, so I'm like 5'2", right? And so one of my friends that happened to be like 6 feet plus tall, would like take my stuff and hold it above their heads and would make me try to jump for it. Like that kind of stuff. I think that's fun. But I guess English, because most characters too that I tend to like, have like this teasing type of energy, like Kaya or Venti or Toma. These are all from Genshin Impact. But I usually listen to them in English and not in the Japanese or Korean dub. So yeah. Next question is, what is your favorite aspect about fantasy in general? So I'm not sure if this really counts, but I enjoy the amount of flexibility that it gives you. Authors can really just create their own worlds and aren't uh, necessarily constrained by much. You can create whole new races and languages and locations and types of magic, and it's fun to discover the worlds that the author makes in that way because of just how flexible it is. But a more basic answer to this, I guess I like magic. I think it's a fun part since the rules are up to the author pretty much. They don't have to follow a convention, and you kind of just have to agree because it's magic. And a final question from Henni in this section: favorite dog breed? I like medium to large sized doggos. My favorite breed, I feel like this is kind of basic, but it's huskies and German shepherds. But realistically, I'd probably like to have a German shepherd over a husky. But I also really like Shibas, Akitas, and also Corgis. So, yeah, thank you for those questions, Henni. Next few questions are from Dixon. So, where do you see yourself in 10 years? Well, I'll probably be retired from YouTube, for one thing. I've also mentioned before that it's, well, I've said this in streams and, like on Discord and stuff, that, it's just a big dream of mine to be married and to have kiddos in the future. So, in 10 years, I'll be like 32. So I'll probably have a job as a history teacher or in some field that helps support children. And also I'll probably be married, hopefully by then, and with 2 kids, probably living in a suburb with a nice backyard or something. It's kind of boring, but honestly, that's kind of the dream, I guess. Yep, married with kids. But yeah, that's where I see myself in 10 years. Next question. What's your favorite? Oh, what's your second favorite color? Sorry. I just like the color black. It's a bit emo, I know. But I think it's a good color that pairs along with other colors pretty easily. I would often paint my nails black with like some accent color like red. But right now my nails are kind of mauve and pinky, but whatever, you didn't need to know that. But my second favorite color is black. Next question. What was the last film slash TV show slash anime, whatever, that you'd give a 10 out of 10? This one's kind of tough. I just don't think I've watched very much as of recent that I'd say is like a 10 out of 10. Like, at most, I give them like 9 out of 10, but I'll give you a few shows that I do like, and most of them are Annie movies, so, like, Into the Forest of Fireflies, and, Makia, When the Promised Flower Blooms, that's a really good one. I've also really only been watching, like, K-dramas lately, so I like, Weightlifting Fairy Kim Bok-ju, and, Mr. Queen, and Reply 1997. Yeah. Yep. Next question. Which YouTube channel do you watch the most? Call me Kevin, 100%. He's my favorite YouTuber, and I watch his videos at least once a day. He plays video games, but he's like the most chaotic good person ever, and I really love him. He's awesome. I watched him for a really long time. Oh, I even support him on like Twitch and Patreon and stuff, so, you know, that's the channel I watch the most. And, next question. If you were going to get a cat or a dog, what would you name them? Honestly, I haven't really thought about it. I wasn't really allowed any pets, so, especially like a cat or a dog, so I don't really know. I'd like to have one, like a pet in the future, but, probably after like an anime character or something. I did have one pet in the past. I had two. I had a fish, and I had a rabbit. And my rabbit was named Kaneki from Tokyo Ghoul. I really like the series and the manga, so, oh, and my fish was named Henri. So, and, if I ever got a husky, I'd probably call him, Ni, N-I, which is a reference to Kuroko Basket. So, if any of you get that, you get it. And, I don't know. So, probably the same thing. It's like I name them after an anime character or like a strangely human name. Like, if I got a cat or a dog, I don't know, like, name them something like, Joshua might be kind of funny and cute, so, yeah, thank you for those questions, Dixon. Next question is from Dan, and he asks what my favorite snacks are, or just favorite snack. So, candy-wise, I really enjoy Whoppers, or, Maltesers, as some of you might know them as. It's just, chocolate-covered malt balls. They're pretty much the same. And, so, there's also this snack in Vietnam called, bánh tráng trộn, and that's like my favorite. It's like strips of rice paper, that stuff that you make, spring rolls, and you put the seasoning onto it. It's like, some kind of salt or something, and then you squeeze like lime onto it and mix it up, and it's really good. Oh, and fruit-wise, my leg is like falling asleep. And fruit-wise, for a snack, this is uncomfortable. Oh my god. Oh no. And fruit-wise, for a snack, I like cherries and beef jerky, I guess. Congo got me into liking that stuff, so yeah, favorite snack. Thank you for the question, Dan. I'm gonna get up real quick and walk around, but I'll be back. Not that you'll notice that much because I'm editing this. Okay, so I'm back, and my leg was really asleep. It felt like my leg gained like 15 pounds, so yeah. Anyway, moving on to the next questions. Dead League, are there any languages that you are interested in learning? So I would like to really, I'd like to learn any European language. So I thought that Gilica would be interesting, but I don't know if I could really pronounce everything in that language. Though I guess that's the point of learning. But I could also try learning Dutch or German again, or maybe even Slovenian. But one of the languages I know I actually want to learn and will study 100% one day is Tagalog. A lot of my friends, and one of my best friends is Filipino, and I think it would be nice to learn. So, yeah, thank you for that question. Next question is from Alan Wing, and they ask, what do you do for fun in your free time? So, literally this is my hobby. Although it's a bit of hard work trying to put everything together. Making these videos is fun for me. I really like writing the scripts and story and stuff too. If I'm not making videos or planning or doing whatever, I read manhwa or webtoons. Oh, I would watch anime and play video games, but sometimes it kind of takes too much energy from me, so I don't. So, yeah, thank you for the question. Oh, and then last question for this section. This one is from JC. When and which was the first anime you saw? So the first anime I ever saw was the anime adaptation of Tokyo Mew Mew. I watched reruns of it. I think it was airing actually, but it was on the CW for kids, and I think it was. I was in elementary school, but I think it was probably 2006 when I saw it, and it's still very dear to my heart, and I think it definitely established my love of anime, and probably the other animes that I watched afterward were some episodes of Dragon Ball Z and the Yu-Gi-Oh series, so like the original one up to the first few episodes of Zexal. So, that is all for the general questions. And next I will be moving on to the Mimi ones. So, this first question is from Band-Aids, along with Rush. So, Rush requested that I read the whole thing aloud, so I will. have you ever had a dream that you had you would you could you do you once you could do so you do you could do you want him to do so much you could do anything? I don't think so. Oh, thank you, Band-Aids, for that. Oh, next question from Band-Aids is, which of these two tastes better? 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 See, my English, it's dying. Which of these two tastes better and is healthier? Dollar bills or coins? Probably, well, maybe if you clean it first. Just coins would probably taste better. I guess if you like metallic taste, though it's probably healthier if you're trying to digest dollar bills. I mean, I'm pretty sure I heard some story about a man getting surgery to remove coins from his belly. So, yeah. Thank you for the questions, Band-Aids. Next question is from Rush. If you're going to get a cat dog, what would you name it? Jeffrey. I don't know why. It's like the first thing that comes to mind. Anyway, thank you, Rush, for that question. Next questions are from KSAT. Social security number reveal. I think I lost my social security number. So, like, can you tell me yours instead? It doesn't work that way, but you know. I'm not funny. I'm sorry. KSAT also asks, how do you tie a Windsor knot? And, I think that refers to a tie. So I can try my hand at it, I guess. And then you can tuck it in and loop it through. Then you can just adjust the tie. And there you go. Okay, and last question. Scooters or hedgehogs? Probably hedgehogs. I mean, I think they're cuter and they won't hurt my ankles. So, yeah. Thank you for the questions, KSAT. Next questions are from Lulu. If you could marry one of the 2D characters you simp for, who would it be? So, that's a tough question. I simp for a lot of characters. The people on my Discord know I like 2D characters a lot. But thinking about actually marrying them all, probably like the first or best person that comes to mind is Toma, like 100% from Genshin Impact. I think banter would be really fun with him, and he works really hard, and he can cook and clean, and he also goes fishing, and he's also just a good guy. I think just based on like interactions with them and stuff, he's like 100% like husband material. So yeah. Next question. If you could have dinner with any character in Genshin Impact, who would it be and why? So, you really wanted to kill me with this question, and I was like torn between Kaya and Venti, but probably Kaya. He just seems like he'd be really fun to talk to, and dinner with him would be fun. I'd probably try to pry some information out of him, not gonna lie, like Rosaria, but he'd probably just amuse me and give me like false answers or something. But also, he's like the character I simp over the most in Genshin. Um, so I could never miss out on having dinner with him. So, yeah. So, next question. If you had to compete against Shangling for being the best chef slash cook, what dish would you make? Um, so this is kind of stereotypical because I'm Vietnamese, but I've been told before that my pho is good. I don't know why I'm pronouncing it like that, but I'm a bit conscious about my cooking most of the time, but apparently, according to some people, I'm really good at making pho. Um, so I'd face Shangling with that dish. Next question. If you can be in any anime, which one would it be? I'm like literally so boring, but I would just like to be in Haikyuu. I'd probably be like some background character at one of their schools, and like legitimately, it's just because I would love to like attend their volleyball matches. I think that'd be really cool to see, and also I 100% would be a Sendai Frog stan. Um, Next question. If you can choose one Haikyuu character to have as a childhood friend, who would it be and why? It's gonna have to be Tendo Satori. I was thinking about Hinata, but like it's Tendo. I think he's just such a fun and eccentric character, and I like feel really like close to him like that. Because I think I can be pretty eccentric in real life. He's like a really tall gremlin, and I'm just like a short gremlin, you know? But uh, mm, as a child, I think he would have definitely needed like a friend or something. Cause like people were so mean to him for his name. Like they bullied him. Um and also he likes reading Shonen Jump, and I think we would definitely both be like weebs together, and I would definitely love hanging out with him since again I feel we have like similar energy. Um Last question from Lulu. If you were allowed sorry. Um If you were allowed to be on any volleyball team in Haikyuu, which would it be? Um, I think Karasuno, always. They might not be like the most OP team or anything, but they are like the home team, and I love them a lot, and all the team members are wonderful. And, well, I definitely wouldn't be playing on the team, but like as a manager or something with like Yachi and Shimizu. But, I love all the other teams, but it's Karasuno all the way. So, yeah, thank you, Lulu, for all those questions. So the next questions are from Henni. For 3 of the questions in no particular order. Yes, no, a nerdy person. Moving on. I hope you can't hear my stomach because I'm kind of hungry. I should go like eat lunch because I just ate breakfast and just haven't eaten lunch. Anyway, sword or assault rifle? Uh, for some reason I thought that this question would be coming from Tan or something, but anyway. um, a sword? I think that it'd just be cooler to have like on a mantle somewhere, you know? And, uh, like I'd love to get like a replica of like one of the Final Fantasy online swords. But yeah, and also I think a rifle just isn't my style, so sorry to, gun enthusiasts, I guess. Next question. rank all your kiddos in a wilding list. So, like, first of all, I have like 100 kiddos on the server, and like, you know, a good amount of them are active. But I think it's a bit my stomach. I think it's a bit too much to rank all of you. So, just, you know, both you and Congo are at the top. You could probably hear that car horn. Yeah, and sorry. Next question. If you have to stay the rest of your life in simp jail, which do you prefer, striped or orange? Probably orange. Most of my closet is like, sorry, I like turned to look at it. I don't know if that affects the way the mic picks up my voice, but, I mostly wear solid colors, and I don't really have many striped things anymore. Next question. Oh boy, my stomach is sure loud today. If you can choose 7 of your kiddos for your personal Queen's Guard, who would it be? So all my mods, Dixon, Rush, Juice, and Reg, I suppose. Yeah. Next question. You work in a library, and some girls give back Barbie films. How do you respond? I'd probably just be like, thanks, and move on with my day, but like secretly hoping that they found enjoyment out of it, because I sure do. Yeah. Next question. If you could give your former self good advice, who would you have made mod instead of Elias and Dylan? I don't really know. Probably Dots. I don't really know who else though among the people that applied, so yeah. And last question from Henni. Maid or princess? So, to be... My stomach's making so much noise, help me. So to be honest, I think Princess Aera, but that's only because I connect with her more. So, yeah. Thank you so much for all the questions, Henni. Next questions. Okay. Okay, Elias, asks, how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? If it could chuck wood, I guess at least one tree? And also, Fumo? Yes. Thank you for the questions, Elias. You're literally just gonna hear my stomach until I'm done recording, because I want to get this done and then I can eat. So, I'm sorry. Next questions are from Jimothy. Why are you so noisy today? Anyway, favorite meme of all time? There's, the tiny screaming yellow frog, or, the frog under some water while a Spanish song plays in the background. I forgot what it's called, but it's a good song. So, yeah. And also, bees? I think they're chill. Yeah. So thank you for the questions, Timothy. Next question is from 07. Someone decided to turn on their, I was gonna say washing machine. It's not a washing machine, their lawnmower. So I'm sorry. I don't really have time to record. Wow, that's horrible. 07 asks, eating banana with or without the skin? Is that my dad mowing the lawn? That's definitely my dad mowing the lawn. I'm sorry. But anyway, without probably because I don't want to eat the peel, I guess. Yeah, so next question is from an overly sarcastic sleepy fox. Uh, what is the airspeed velocity of an laden swallow? Um, so thank you for the question. Also, sorry about the lawnmower. I'm trying to make this as real as possible, but it's like hard when everyone is mowing their lawn today. Literally, this morning I was going to record, but there are like at least like 5 of my neighbors mowing their lawn, and I was like, oh, I can't record. But you know what? I don't care anymore. At least this isn't an actual like audio. Like, can you imagine? Anyway, moving on. I think okay, so these are the last one of the memes, and these are all from Dixon. So, um, suppose some guy, probably a vampire, threw you into a pool. What are the first words that come to mind to shout at him? Depends on like what guy. Like if it was like one of my best friends, then I'd be like, bruh. But like if it was like real life, I'd probably just like for real shout like curse words at him. Cause I'd be angry. Who throws somebody into a pool like that? And then but like in the anime world, maybe those cursed words, Dixon. So next question. How much money would it take for you to spend a day in Minnesota? And this is a Barbie joke, but I would never go. Oh, Henni also asked, would you go to Minnesota if we were with you? No. Next question. Venti or Scaramouche? Okay, so like I know I simp over Scaramouche a lot, but like, you know, Venti. Venti is like my comfort character. He brings me like the most ease. Although he kind of does spook me a little because he doesn't tell you anything at all. And he's one of the original Archons. But he's still my comfort character, and I like him a lot, so I choose Venti. And, next question. Kaya, Albedo, or Child? This one's kind of tough. Oh my god, the lawnmower's so loud, I'm sorry. So like, this is kind of tough, because I like them all. Albedo was my first, like, 5-star. And, Child. Well, I'm like a childless, like, simp, but, it's just, Kaya's supremacy, so Kaya. I like Kaya a lot. Next. Dimitri Nation supremacy or Scaramouche Nation supremacy. So I love Dimitri from Fire Emblem Three Houses with all my heart. Like I really love him. I have like a bunch of merch of him and stuff. But like I'm still Scaramouche Nation supremacy. He's just like I don't know, like he's such a meanie, but honestly, it makes sense why he's warped. But also, like, why do I like villains? I don't know why, but Scaramouche Nation supremacy, unfortunately. Sorry, Demi. Next question. What's your favorite Pokemon and starter Pokemon? So, my favorite Pokemon is Psyduck. um, I love Psyduck a lot. I think Psyducks are really cute. um, oh, so like on Pokemon Go, when I got my first shiny Psyduck, he's like all blue, right? He's like teal or some color like that. I was like really happy. I was so excited. I love Psyduck a lot. um, and starter Pokemon. Mm, I don't know. I mean, like, I can't choose. I like. Hmm. I I like all of Gen 4 starters a lot. Um, like uh, I don't know. I like Gen 4 a lot. The Gen 4 starters are all like my favorites, probably because I started with that game. So, yeah. Sorry, I'm not good at choosing, but all three of them are cute. Um, oh, and I also like Oshawott. I think Oshawott's really cute. So, yeah, just their baby forms, but also like, you know, they're cool when they grow up. Next question. Um, in Genshin, did you pick the Paimon as emergency food dialogue choices? And yeah, I did choose that. She's a best friend, guide, and emergency food. Um, Next question. Um, um, oh, how does it feel knowing that you'll soon be a grandma? Okay, so like this is a joke because like, um, I call like fan base people, I guess. It feels weird saying fan, but like, I call you kiddos, right? But and so like I'm like a mother, I guess, but like don't call me like mom, but like with a Y and an extra M, you know? Don't call me that. um, but so uh, one of my one of my patrons is having a kid soon, so I feel real happy. I mean, um, I'm not gonna be an actual grandmother, but I feel happy to know that one of my kiddos is happy, and you know I wish him and the lady a happy and healthy life, and yeah, so yeah, excited, happy, happy. um, and then final question for this section: um, which house or nation is the best fit for you in FE3 houses? And you can't just pick based on Dimitri. So again, as much as I love Dimitri, he's my favorite character, in FE3H, um, I am not suited for the Holy Kingdom of Vargas. I'm not meant to be there. Um, so there's no way that I'm a Blue Lions, and there's no way I'm a Black Eagle. Um, and so I definitely fit in with Golden Deer the most. Um, I'm, I'm a Hufflepuff, and so they like 100% radiate Hufflepuff energy, and so that's what I am. So, yeah, thank you, Dixon, for all your questions. So before I continue, I'm going to go grab a snack, and then I will be back to finish off the Q&A. So, be back. Okay, I'm finally back after having lunch, so my stomach won't growl anymore. So we are on the last section. Channel stuff about my channel and story and writing in general, I guess. So, first question, Parker Hazelbeck. I love how you create multi-part series, and I love the way you structure them. Season 1, Episode 1. Does this imply that there will be other seasons of these storylines, or is it just a convenient way to title the video? So, for certain storylines, there will be an additional, season. So I have multiple phases, that will contain 3 to 4 storylines, and at least one in each phase will require at least one more season. And for now, Minea Clark and Aera Alicia will be getting an additional season. But if certain series only have a single season, there might be some details or questions that will be unanswered, or they might show up randomly in an episode and you're like, whoa, where's that coming from? And well, that's because it needs to be filled in by other series, because they're all deeply interconnected, and there's a lot of things going on in the background, I guess. So yeah, they're all part of one big world and story, so please be on the lookout. So yeah, thank you for that question. Next question is from Chill is also confused. How long do you think you'll be doing this for? So honestly, I've planned up to 4 phases so far. But there will be probably at least 2 more, maybe. And each phase should have anywhere from, I'd say, 6 to 10 months of content, so maybe in 3 to 4 years. I might get a little busier at some points and uploads will have to slow down, but I'm determined to finish up these stories, so yeah. Thank you for that question. Next question. So I've combined these two together because they're kinda along the same, I was gonna say genre, but that doesn't make sense, right? I don't know. So, these questions are from Jason and JC. So what got you into ASMR audio, and also, so doing ASMR and voice acting was the main thing you decided to start on YouTube and Twitch, or did you have anything more in mind? So, I'll tell you like the entire background, I guess. So weird story, but I was originally a VA on Fiverr, and this started because I randomly decided to record myself speaking as Himiko Tolga from My Hero Academia, because she's an interesting character. And after listening back to it, I kind of remembered like how much I just enjoyed portraying different characters through acting, and decided it would be fun to start working as a kind of VA. But like this job on Fiverr was like super stressful. I really undersold myself, and worked a lot more than was worth. Like for like 5 to 10 hours of like work, I got paid less than $25 or stuff like that, but it still cemented my love of acting again. I had also previously streamed, but got too nervous doing with I like streaming with like a face cam, and this is generally just because I don't have a lot of self-esteem. So, VTubers were becoming more popular, and I thought it would be a good way to keep myself safe and also happy. And so when I started back in 2020, a regular chatter of mine, Shia, mentioned that I should do ASMR, because I used to read like scripts on stream. And then I took a look at some popular videos of like other people doing ASMR, and I thought it would be a good way to express my creativity and give me more flexibility when it came to acting. So I took like 4 to 5 months of working on a story I had started writing during the summer, and created a whole big world and a set of dynamic characters and storylines and stuff. And eventually I uploaded my first video, A Morning with Your Maid. Though I would say that I don't really do ASMR. It's really more like audio roleplay. I think my genre of, I guess, audio roleplay is a bit niche, considering that, the whole purpose isn't necessarily to, bring a necessarily happy ending each and every time, because it's a story, and if every story ended with, a happy ending without loss and pain and suffering, it's kind of boring to me anyway. And so again, it's my story, and everything's pretty much been planned out already. And you might find some of it relaxing, I suppose, due to my voice, but I really want it to be more like a story, right, that you're experiencing and exploring through the world, through these character storylines, through the audio roleplay itself. But yeah, and also, if you want to learn more about the world, right, I have my Notion lore page set up, but I also have a channel on my Discord called Lore Dump that you can go on and scroll through like a million messages to, look at the different lore that's in the world. So, yeah. Thank you for that. Those questions, Jason and JC. Next question is from Shin. So, how do you come up with the plot of the story? So I had started writing part of this story during the summer of 2020. It started with the concept of relationships and how, the web of relationship is, super present in our lives. Like, I know somebody that knows somebody else that knows somebody else, right? It's like that 10 degrees of separation, I think. And so it's like that. But it's very much also in the background of our lives. Like, we don't think about it, but other people's actions are affecting us even if we're not thinking about it. And so I started with 3 characters and expanded upon their relationships and their suffering and their happiness, and how their relationships and ambitions would affect the world itself. So it really built itself, but of course, with lots of twists and turns, because those are my favorite. So, the world is unpredictable and flexible. So I build on the relationships and how the world interacts with them. So yeah, thank you, Shin, for the question. Next question is from Henni. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm sorry if I'm not. And Bloodborne. So, where do you draw inspiration from? And also, what are some of the fantasy worlds that have inspired your work? So, inspiration-wise, favorite childhood stories for sure have, influenced the direction that I took with the story. I could have just written it all like, with the class rep and stuff, but that's a whole separate, world. Um, and so, I don't even think I'm doing the ASMR voice anymore because I'm like too excited. um, so, you know, um, Ferris, like I had mentioned before, Ella Enchanted, the two princesses of Bamare. I don't know, Bamare. I thought that like there was an N, so I called it Banmare for the longest time, but there's no N. Um, but also, like several different manhwas have helped me to kind of shape the world in a similar fashion. Um, it helps me understand a little bit more about, relationships among like nobles and servants, like how that kind of plays out. Um, but also like watching, I don't know, like Bridgerton kind of helped a little just to like aesthetically wise feel it out. Um, but also like Genshin Impact has helped a lot with like especially with like naming conventions. Um, a lot of their names deal with mythology, so I kind of took a bit of inspiration from that. So some of the names have slight references to, different parts of mythology. Um, so yeah, there's that. And also, Fire Emblem Three Houses helped a lot. I really love the world and the aesthetics of it. Though I would not say that, my story is really similar to either of those. Um, just certain elements or aspects you might find familiar, but I think I really turned the head on them. If that's the is that the phrase that you use? I don't know, whatever. But they're inspired from those worlds for sure. So, uh, thank you for those questions. My leg is falling asleep again. I'm gonna just sit through it though. Next question is from King Who Shall Return. Any tips for an aspiring writer with difficulty finding motivation at times? Uh, so I feel like when I lose motivation, I just need to take a break. Like, if you keep dragging yourself, or for me, right, if I keep dragging myself to write, whatever I'm writing, it just won't, I just won't like it, at the end of the day. So, take a break, drink some tea, or whatever your beverage of choice is, and maybe look at the things that inspire you in your story. Um, I end up looking at like Pinterest boards sometimes because a lot of the pictures, right, like aesthetically, they kind of matched the aesthetic and theme that I envisioned for my world and kind of helped me like that. And um, I also listen to specific playlists, right, that give off the vibe of whatever I'm writing. So that can kind of help. Um, yeah. Also, I guess another thing I do is, uh, so, I kind of separate writing. Uh, so, so I have my YouTube channel stuff, but I also have, mini tidbits of lore on my Patreon. And, they're only like maybe 400 words or so, and then the obvious, like, main YouTube stuff is like, it's like 2,000 or something. But because my world is very vast and deep, I guess, it helps sometimes to stop, writing for the YouTube stuff, which I call like the main story quest, right? Um, I'll take a break from that and write the smaller stuff, fleshing out details about the world. Although they're minuscule and honestly like very confusing for my Patreon people sometimes because you don't know who's talking or what they're talking about. But it helps a lot, to flesh out your world like that, and in return, it gives me more inspiration to write the full story. So, yeah, I hope that helped a little. Sorry if I'm not the best at giving advice, but yeah, so, thank you for that question. Next question is from Stay Wolf. Are these stories and worlds you write made exclusively for these videos, or are you working on these for a bigger project and the RPs are just small windows into those bigger worlds? So, yeah, it's exclusively for the RPs, and I would still say though that because there is so much lore and events happening in the background and little minuscule details that you might miss that lead into bigger plots, each of these roleplay videos are definitely just small windows into certain events that occur that are pertaining to certain characters. But like for example, right, although Minea and Aera, Princess Aera, are in the same time frame, sort of, whatever events are happening they're not at the same time. Um, so right, like for Princess Aera, you're looking into these tiny events or interactions with Princess Aera and the Plectary Knight over the course of a whole year, and then some. Um, but for like Minea, you only look at that week that they're there together at the Marquise's house, and then also a month later you look at this tiny event of where Minea is leaving, right? It's very small snapshots into the world, so you can understand a little bit more of the world, but also understand what the characters are like on a more baseline-ish level. But the world I've created is just really, it's filled to the brim with lore and information, and there's some stuff that I've hinted to, but I just haven't touched at all. And all the characters too have their own quirks and worries, and and this includes the listener character themselves. You're not just when you're listening, right? You are. I'm going on about this because I'm rambling. I'm sorry. But like you're not just a blank slate character. You are a character that I have created with a full blown backstory and a personality. You are the character that I've given you essentially. Um, and so there's just a lot going on, and so don't um simply because it is a big world, right? Even though these are small windows, don't take each audio simply at face value as a normal roleplay with like a happy end and really not that much conflict. Because there's just a bigger world beyond it, and beyond what you're seeing during these specific interactions. Sorry, I went on for a long time about that. Yeah. So thank you for that question. Next question is from 4. So, do you draw your own thumbnails? They are really beautiful. Do you take a long time to come up with the plots for your videos? Um, no, I do not make my own thumbnails. I do edit them slightly. Like for example, the latest Princess Aera one. Originally in the art, she has glasses, and so I didn't want to bother my artists because they were busy. And so I edited. It used to have glasses and no tears, and so I edited away the glasses and I added tears. So I can draw a little bit, but not to that extent. But I work with 2 artists off of Fiverr, and their links are always in the description of each video. They're both wonderful and sweet people, so if you'd ever like to commission them, please do. Their work is well worth the price, and they're honestly underselling themselves, so always tip your artists. If you ever commission anything, make sure to tip them, because they deserve it for all the hard work they do. And so when I was coming up with the stories, I had already written a part of it, right? Back in the summer, but I stopped because I had internship and stuff. Um, but like after after I after my where am I going with this? After my regular on the Twitch stream was like, you should do ASMR. Um, I took about like 4 to 5 months just writing a lot, about the characters and the world and their interactions and whatnot, right? So 4 to 5 months, plus like a month's worth of writing outlines, for like 56 scripts. I didn't write the scripts themselves yet, but I have the outlines for them, and yeah, and also I'm constantly still writing, um, and I'm adjusting and fixing certain aspects of the stories, and lately I've added in a new character. They don't have much, to add to the story, but they're there. They're kind of important. But yeah, so I suppose that answered it, maybe? Sorry. But thank you for that question. Okay, next question is from Rush. So, or I have 3 questions actually. What's your favorite story? So, see, I asked him to clarify this because I wasn't sure if he meant like out of like class rep, princess, Aera, or, um, you know, uh, or Minea. Sorry, I was like, where am I going with this? I have too many thoughts in my head. Um, but you know, um, but I can talk about the unreleased stuff and other character stories. So I'd say that my favorite stories, because I can't really choose, are probably Aera Alasia's and Empress Erish, which is Princess Aera's mom. Um, so Aera Alasia probably has the most lore by far. Like that helps you understand a lot more about the world. Um, but also she's just important to the story overall and is a fun character to act as. Meanwhile, like Empress Erish, I think I genuinely gave her like one of the most, I'd say, saddening stories ever. So, um, yeah, angst. I like angst in my characters. Um, Second question. What's your favorite way for people to show support for you? So, I love comments. I think it's always fun reading them, and I love looking at theories and predictions as to what will happen next. It's just the best way to let me know that you're listening. Yeah, so, comment. I love comments. I like reading them. Um, and I do read all of them. You'll see. Like sometimes I take a break from reading them and let them build up, and then you'll see like me like all of them and also like heart all of them. So yeah. Next. Um. Which character do you identify with the most, or do you like the most? So, I share a lot of commonalities with Princess Aera. Not that I've been poisoned or anything, um, but I've had my fair share of awful family members that have just been as manipulative, abusive, and just generally harassing me, I guess. Um, but I also really like, Aera Alasia too. I feel like her personality is a bit close to mine, but again, a lot of my personality traits are kind of spread through a bunch of characters, so, each character shares at least a little bit of me as a person. Um, and then also, Princess Seiya too. I'm not mean or anything, but, you'll meet Princess Seiya in phase 2, but, I also, understand some of her feelings towards certain things. Oh, I hit something, sorry. But I understand her feelings towards some things, so yeah. Thank you for those questions. next question is from Band-Aids. Is Merry Christmas album / EP legit happening? Okay, so it's not a Merry Christmas album, but at some point I do plan on producing a acapella cover album, and there will be a Christmas song on there, kind of. Since some people like my singing, the actual the actual release date is still, gonna be up in the air, cause it I don't know when I have the time to sing. But it will have anywhere from like 7 to 10 songs. So yeah, acapella cover album. Thank you for that question. Next question is from Piek Finger and Congo. So I put these together again because they were similar somewhat. Opiek had 2 questions, but how nervous were you when you recorded your first audio? Do you still use the same equipment, or did you make some upgrades? And also, what equipment did you use, and what does equipment like that go for nowadays? I'm starting to make mistakes, and it's so ironic because of the next questions, but so since I was a VA and I have also, acted before, like legitimately on a stage, recording wasn't nerve-wracking at all. It feels pretty natural. The part that like really gets me is uploading it onto YouTube, because I don't really feel very confident in myself. I always feel like, I don't think I'm really doing a good job, but this is the best I've got. So, and also, I had a small base on Twitch, and they were gonna watch some of it, so I was kind of nervous about how they'd feel about it. But yeah, just scared of reception because I don't feel that confident in my acting skills most of the time, even if it does feel natural. Yeah. Since I started streaming first, I have a HyperX quadcast, the older one that's only that's red, as my mic, and it's a bit finicky as of late, but I haven't ever upgraded since, so but I would like to. I have I have a dream that one day I can get an XLR mic, because right now I'm using a USB one, but an XLR one would be better, but it's kind of expensive to get the whole setup, so but yeah, I'm trying to do my best with the HyperX quadcast. So I looked at the website and it costs like $139, but I'm pretty sure I got it for about $100. And I also just used my trusty 4-year-old laptop. I don't have like a PC tower thingy, so I just work off of the laptop on my floor. And as for audio software, I just used like Audacity, but I think I'm on like version 2.4 or something, I don't know. But yeah, pretty simple stuff, not too intense or anything. I still hope that you find my audio's high quality though, or trying to be high quality at least. So yeah, thank you for those questions. Okay, so next question is from Henni. So he asks, how many times does the English go in one recording session? So to explain this, on Twitch I do reading streams of light novels, and I usually, like 30 minutes or an hour in, I'll start to like not say words properly, or I'll mess up like really bad, so I'll be like, oh, my English is going, so but genuinely, not that much. I mean, you'll see me like blip a couple of times in this audio. Other than a few bad takes because I like completely mess up something. But like, I maybe mess up like 4 to 5 times during like a 3 hour recording session or something like that. And like it's usually like me messing up like a line or I just mess up the English, but it's usually not blooper worthy. And mentioning blooper worthy, thank you, Henni, for the question, by the way. I had a question from Reg. So Reg asks, when could we get a video of your bloopers? So again, mentioning bloopers, I don't really have enough to have a reel or anything. Because most of the time when I, am making mistakes while reading a script, because I'm the one who's writing it, so I know it's gonna be on it, but, most of the time when I make a mistake, I'll just pause for like 5 minutes in the middle of like wherever I messed up, so I know to delete it. Not 5 minutes, that's a little too long, but, I pause. Although sometimes when I do have bloopers, I upload them on my Patreon. So, yeah. Thank you for that question. Next question is from Chris. What is the character you have the most fun voicing? So I'd say that Princess Strea and Aera Alasia, you haven't heard them yet, but, and Yukari Hashimoto are, Yukari, yeah, are the most fun so far. So Princess Seiya and Aera are just so different from me, personality-wise, I feel. Well, not Aera. Aera's more closer to me, but her voice is different. Yeah, I completely abandoned the whole ASMR thing. I'm trying still. That's kind of hurts, and my throat kind of hurts. Seiya and Aera have different voices to me, and Seiya especially has a completely different personality, so it's been fun trying to act as her, because I had to really get into that role. And then another thing is, Yukari, aka the class rep, is just like me if I was in high school. Kind of thing. So she's fun to act as. Thank you, Chris, for that question. Next question is from George Kefalinos22. Sorry if I messed it up. So, as a person who has a personal project that involves a lot of imagination, I'd like to ask a question. Do you have a source or a happy place to go to? Do you take breaks while writing your scripts? And what is the source of your creativity? So to answer, happy place or creativity, I usually just turn on a playlist that fits the type of script or character I'm writing for and just get into the flow of the music. I try to imagine scenarios or write little short snippets and, certain keywords and stuff. Certain keywords and, before I start writing the full thing. And also, yes, take breaks. Like I mentioned a while before, if you just keep on writing and it feels like a drag, that just isn't it. So whatever you're writing will probably feel like unseasoned chicken and broccoli, so like plain and uninspired. And sometimes, I'll go for like a 5-hour session and not take a break and force myself to write. And then I realize like whatever I've been writing is not that good. So yeah. Make sure to take breaks. It's important. So, I hope that helped a little bit. Thank you for the question. Next question is from Hunter Dawn. And also, happy birthday to Hunter! I hope you have a good day. Sorry if this is on the wrong day. I'm not sure what time zone you're in. But yeah, happy birthday. Their question was, I have a question. When will the next part of the Maid series come out? And how do you express each emotion on your videos? Like, I could really feel it. Like, I'm actually there to see it. So, Phase 2 should start sometime in October. You'll be introduced to a new cast of characters, which I'll tell you about them now a little bit. So you have Princess Shia, which is Princess Aera's half-sister, also the daughter of Queen Despina. There's Aera Alasia. She's an aspiring female knight, and will eventually become the first empress. Princess Diana. She's a foreign fae princess that goes to Pencos for an annual summit. And who's left? Oh, and then in the real life anime series, we have Hitoka Hashimoto, which is the class rep's older sister, and you'll get to see the story of how she meets her partner while she's in college. So yeah, so halfway through those series, probably whenever Aera Alasia breaks for season 2, you'll be getting Minea season 2 in return to fill out that block. So yeah. And to answer the next question, again, I put a lot of thought into each of these characters. They have quirks and flaws and worries and pressure that is placed upon them by the world and its rules. They are people. And so when I act out their stories, I think about all those details and really try to be the character. They're not one-dimensional. They're people. The bad explanation. But, so whatever their emotions are, they're also my emotions. So that's probably how I can express each emotion. Those emotions are meant to feel real because they are. So yeah, thank you for that question, and again, happy birthday. Oh, and we are finally at our last question from Lulu. So, do you actually plan to comprise all of your lore into a book series and have it published? So like I said, this is a whole story, that I have already written out pretty much, through each of the RPs. I know what's gonna happen to each character. And eventually, and there's a lot of lore too, people can attest to that, but, eventually, after my roleplays are all done, I might compile all the lore into a story as, or as one of my patrons, puts it, a mini, Silmarillion, though I would like to probably write a story from the perspective of, Saint Strea, possibly, that really just outlines everything that happens. So, yeah, but I don't know about, actually, publishing, publishing it online, yeah, but, yeah, I don't know. But, yeah, if I ever do write one, I'll be sure to let everyone know. That will be my parting gift, I guess, from YouTube. So, yeah, that is the end of the Q&A. I hope that answered a lot of your questions. If they didn't, I'm sorry. If you have some more questions, and you want to put them in the comments, I'll be definitely willing to answer them. Through the reply system. But yeah, so, Sorry that this isn't really ASMR. I don't know, I'm trying, but not really. Uh, again, it's not my genre. But yeah, thank you so much for the support. And I've gained my own funky little family that I love with all my heart. And yeah, this hobby of mine makes me really happy. Um, you know, uh, Now I'm getting emotional and I want to cry, but I'm not gonna cry. But I'm really happy that you guys are here to support me and this big old project of mine. So yeah, sorry this video was so long. Anyway, uh so yeah, thank you again for 5K, and um next video should be the finale of Class Rep, part 4, and yeah, so I will see you in the next videos, or on Twitch, or on the Discord, or on the Patreon, or wherever, and yeah, so thank you so much, and uh, stay cozy and sleep well. Alright, bye bye.